I didn't show up for my group mates because I thought it would benefit me. At least not consciously. But it did. And I think there's something bigger in that. This semester, in my professional selling and sales management class, we've been doing these selling projects. You know, high pressure, competitive, real presentations. And I got grouped with these two people, Katie and Cyrano. We weren't close, but we had taken a class together before. And that was basically the only reason why we grouped up. No real chemistry, no real dynamic, just convenience. And I remember thinking, okay, this could be average, or I could do something different here. There was a moment where I made a decision. Not out loud, just internally. I thought, I'm going to show up big for them. Not halfway, not I'll do my part and disappear. I'm talking full effort, care, energy, leadership without being loud about it. And I didn't know what would come from it. I did not know. I didn't know if they would match it or maybe if they would take advantage of it. I didn't know if I'd just be carrying all the weight. But I made the decision about being the man that I wanted to be in that room. So I got to work. And if I'm being honest, I did do most of the work. I put in a ridiculous amount of time. Refining the slides, sharpening language, crunching numbers, doing the math, making the pitch airtight. But here's the key. I didn't weaponize it. I didn't hold it over their heads. I didn't say, look what I did. I didn't try to dominate the spotlight. I intentionally left room for them to do their part. Places that they would contribute. Places that they could shine. Places that they could feel ownership. Because showing up is not about control. It's about investment. And something interesting did happen. Our teacher was blown away. He told us that if we did it again, the same way we did it the first time, we would be beyond golden. And I remember sitting there thinking, this is exactly what happens when you actually care. Not just about the grade, but about the people. Now, fast forward to the second project. Something had shifted. We weren't just group mates anymore. We were friends. We started laughing, we understood each other, we knew each other's strengths. Real chemistry. It wasn't forced, it grew. And today, Katie tells me about this internship opportunity. Perfect timing. Perfect fit. Perfect direction. And she says she'll vouch for me. She says that she knows people who would vouch for me too. And I sat there for a second and I realized something. That didn't happen by accident. Thinking back, I didn't show up for them to get something back. But I also didn't show up halfway. And I think that matters. There's this idea floating around that if you give too much, you'll get used. That if you care too much, you'll look desperate. That if you go above and beyond, you're a sucker. I don't buy that anymore. Because showing up builds something that most people overlook. Trust, reputation, character. And those things compound. Now, I want to be clear. This is not about being a martyr. It's not about doing everyone's work forever. And it's not about carrying lazy people indefinitely. It's about setting a tone. And when you walk into a room and you decide, I'm going to elevate this. People feel that. People respond to that. And I think that unfortunately a lot of men are scared to show up fully because we don't want to look like we care too much. We don't want to look eager or invested or emotionally involved. So we play it cool. We undercommit and we protect our ego. But then we wonder why nothing comes back to us. But here's what I'm learning, right? You don't get what you deserve. You get what you demonstrate. Now, what do I mean with that? What do I mean by that? With this project, I demonstrated something. I demonstrated reliability. I demonstrated care. I demonstrated that I wasn't just there to collect a grade and disappear. And that energy came back in a way that I couldn't have planned. Now, here's the deeper layer, right? When I had shown up for them, these people that I barely knew, I wasn't just investing in a project. I, in that moment, was becoming the man who I always wanted to be. The kind of man who shows up. And that definitely matters more than the internship. Any internship. Because character compounds long before the opportunities do. So if you're watching this and you're in school or work, or even just thinking about your relationships, stop asking, what do I get from this? Start asking, who do I become if I give this my best? Because people notice. They notice. Not immediate, not dramatically, but quietly. And quietly is where the real doors open. So this internship opportunity, guys, it feels like a blessing. There isn't words of the initial confusion that I got of why would she be telling me about this? The disbelief of, no, I wouldn't want this. But after a minute or two, it started to sound like just like what I needed in life. I just couldn't believe that it had come to me like this. And while it did feel like a blessing, it also feels kind of like a reflection. It kind of feels like the universe saying, you showed up. Here's something in return. Here's something back. And maybe that's not just mystical. Maybe that's just how trust works. So, under the armor, this is what I believe. Showing up isn't weakness. It's not overcompensating. It's not trying too hard. It's leadership. And leadership matters even when no one asked you to lead. So here's my takeaway. Don't wait for chemistry to show up in a group. Don't wait for guarantees. Don't wait for people to prove they deserve your effort. Sometimes you go first. And you go first because that's just who you are. Not because of what you get. But because sometimes that standard you set for yourself, it comes back in beautiful ways. Ways that you'll never expect. Guys, this moment that I experienced today, it was good. I'll be honest with you, it was a nice good. It was a kind of good that it makes you really feel like being a good man is worth it. It's beautiful, in my opinion. Because being a genuinely good dude is underrated right now. It's not a loud type of good. It's not a performative good. It's not a look at me kind of good. It's just quietly solid. You know, somebody who shows up, someone who doesn't keep score, who leads without announcing it, you know, reflects on stuff instead of blaming others. That's super solid right now. It's strength under the armor of being a man. You see what I did there? Under the armor. I want to thank you guys for getting this far in the video, as always. I appreciate you guys listening, showing up for me. I hope to show up for you every day. This experience that I had, it was nice. And I believe that all the good people out there at some point deserve to have a moment like this once every while. Just something to keep you going. Something that reminds you, hey, you know, all that effort of being a good person, it's worth it. So, don't stop trying, please. Everyone watching this, it's going to be hard. It's going to suck. But these moments where the sun breaks through and you get to see and feel that light on your skin, it's great. It makes it all worth it. So don't give up. Keep having hope. There's love out there in the world. You just got to go find it. I love you guys, as always. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.